So, the question today is, why are you in this situation? Which sounds vague, but I'm just going to go with it. So we have the Knight of Pentacles reversed. You feel like you're not able to move towards the things that you want in terms of like money or just material goals. And what's crossing you or coming up ahead is stability and also some sort of celebratory situation, maybe even commitment or marriage. What's been on your mind or hanging over you is the Queen of Pentacles. You have a need or desire to be organized, have the home in order and the finances. Maybe you work from home, I'm getting. The distant past or the root of the situation is public recognition. This may be just like a time where you are putting yourself out there. You're, I don't know if you're like in marketing, I'm sort of getting, or like something where, a job where you have to do marketing for yourself. Or maybe just word of mouth is something I'm hearing, but you're getting exposure in some way. The recent past is feeling defensive, but also feeling like I'm just out of sorts in general. And then overall we have the future is death. There's going to be some sort of rebirth situation here in your life where it feels right now like you maybe are in a time where things are leaving your life. There is an eclipse happening today, by the way, in Pisces, which is going to be about death. But it's like about, see, if you look closely, there's like a figure under here. And then I kind of also read the white horse and white flag as surrender. It's sort of like the situation you're in requires surrender so that you can, sorry, that's my speaker, sort of be born again. I'm not really talking about born again Christians, but you could be, I don't know. The current state is the current like mindset or state of the viewer is disappointment or recovery from disappointment. That may just have been a situation where you were like less than pleased. And I'm getting a lot of just like a feeling of closed throat chakra, like something that you felt like you couldn't speak about. The 5 can be about communication, and the environment is the devil. You were in an environment of bondage, or maybe you felt enslaved by a toxic situation. The inner hopes or fears, recovering from arrest. And then overall we have the Emperor reversed, obsessive control, or just bringing order to your life. And then I'm going to contextualize the whole reading with the Wheel of Fortune. So also that specifically with rest. So as you recover from resting, there may have been like a time where you were not engaging in something, or like maybe you've just been taking a rest overall. You're moving towards good fortune and positive things, really. And you're moving towards, see the Sphinx here? It's like the Sphinx represents the riddles of life. He gives riddles and he doesn't really give answers. So I don't know, I'm just getting that there's something about being open to questions rather than knowing answers right now. We got King of Wands. There could be a person in your life who has like a lot of just masculine energy. It doesn't have to be a male, but they also may just have a lot of, maybe they're very generous. I relate this card to Leo. Not everyone may do that, but I think there's a little like chameleon or a lizard here. Lizards are also symbols of regeneration. So I just want to mention that. And I feel like as you're in a situation where you feel like you have to hold tight to what you have in some way. And there's been like a lot of burden, a lot of like tense energy coming through. There's been a lot of like need to release. I'm getting an image of like a volcano, or just like a need to relax in some vital way, maybe like taking a rest or eating some good food, or like just really nourishing yourself, because there's been something's coming to a close. And the more that you just relax and realize that you're on this like wheel of life, this journey that you don't have total control over. We got the obsessive control card before with the Emperor reversed. That's how I read that card. The Hanged Man. There's definitely like a situation where you're in suspension. You feel like you're just looking at life, like you're looking at all the perspectives, and you're maybe not in such an active phase right now. And the Queen of Cups, this could be you. You might just be like a compassionate person. Maybe you're female, or just sort of kind, artistic energy. You're somebody who cares a lot about other people, and also just like the home, and caring individual. But I relate this to Cancer, and it's like you are maybe very creative, and that's important right now. And Seven of Pentacles. So you're definitely like moving towards some sort of situation where you can feel like you're in control of what you're doing with your work, because right now you feel out of control. So the next step is to feel in control, and to feel like what you're sort of maybe in an apprenticeship, or you're like studying something, and you're seeing choices and options that you maybe didn't see before. And maybe there's been blocked communication in your life in some capacity, and someone's helping you. There's like charity. Knight of Swords. I just want to pause here. There's just like a lot of energy of rushing, or go, or not able to slow down, and it's really important to take that time for ourselves and to just sort of give ourselves a break, and maybe like realize that not every activity has to be productive, and scheduling that time to do nothing and have the downtime. And the more that you can get in touch with your creativity, there actually is going to be like a different, like a new energy coming in, where there's more emotional understanding. This could be a person, like maybe a youthful male, or maybe just a part of yourself that is really connecting with that sensitivity and that creativity. And I also get with the Page of Cups just like something about, I'm just thinking of the pattern of this person's like tunic. Like there's just something about patterns, and realizing that some patterns are not bad. Like some patterns that you have may be detrimental, but some of the patterns that you have are also positive. And there's a lot of things coming up in the next couple weeks that have to do with self-empowerment, and not only giving yourself a break, but standing up for yourself, and realizing that doesn't always have to mean action. It can be non-action, or it can be abstaining, or it can be, instead of looking at the past in a negative light, thinking of the past in a more constructive way, in terms of what did I learn, or what will maybe I'm sort of hearing, what situation would I not put myself in again? Because the Page of Cups can relate to Pisces, which can be really about the duality of the human experience. I'm thinking about Dr. Seuss for some reason, and Dr. Seuss, and I'm thinking about the fox in a box. Oh, could you in a boat? Could you in a moat with in a moat? It's Green Eggs and Ham. It's a great it's a great book. It's I'm mentioning that because it's about a picky person who doesn't want to eat green eggs and ham. And Sam I believe is trying to get him to eat green eggs and ham. And he's like, would you eat it here? Would you eat it there? And he's just like, no, I don't like green eggs and ham. And I feel like there's some situation, since that's coming through, where like, first of all, the color green, maybe somebody is like really earthy, or maybe you're just like into nature. Maybe you have like maybe you have a green aura, as they say, where like I relate that as to someone who really likes the outdoors and like uses nature and as metaphor for the self, and maybe even has regenerative properties and healing properties. And I also link green to Saint Germain, who I feel like I've mentioned before. I believe there's a healing green light that is involved with Saint Germain, which might be a cool visualization. But anyway, yeah, it's sort of a weird reading, but I think I'm gonna be sort of doing shorter readings for a while because there's sort of some different energy coming through. We're in Virgo season, and it's very much about like sorting and logical things and getting organized. Maybe you're like organizing your space, maybe you're making lists of what you want to do. But as I said before in another reading, like, remember that not everything on your to-do list can be done today. I would recommend making a big to-do list and then making a small to-do list, and then from that small to-do list making a list of what you can actually do today. And I would pick only 3 things, and they can be things from any category, but then you can feel accomplished and maybe have confidence to do more things, and maybe you do just only do those things. But these are just some like techniques about getting organized. But I feel like also, since we're in Virgo season, you may just be like thinking about your work and thinking about how you communicate, maybe writing, maybe you're feeling the urge to write. You could be focused on health or your diet. But as you do focus on those things, go ahead and, listen to a self-help book and do those things, and maybe like learn to recite a poem. That's a very Virgo thing, like, dictation. But as you do those things, and as you try to eat the perfect meal or whatever it is, by the way, Virgos also can be really into indulgence. Like they may be like really into like donut snacking or something, or like they may get messy once in a while. It's almost like someone who holds the reins so tightly that once they are loosened, they're like completely slack because they've been held so tightly for so long. And I was gonna say, don't be a perfectionist, because that's where Virgo gets into mental health issues. They do rural mental health, the 6th house, and yeah, just really like leaning into the positive things about preparing for the change in the season, which is coming up. We're coming up towards fall now, or maybe I think we're in fall. I'm not sure what the exact date is actually, but there's definitely a lot of like positive focus with the green eggs and ham mention. You may want to just like read some Dr. Seuss books. Also maybe just Fox energy, because it's like with a fox in a box. Fox energy can be related to, I think, Christ energy, but also just other positive. I think it has Celtic lore attached to it, and several traditions are related to the fox in different societies and different backgrounds. Anyway, sorry. Also, just like maybe you felt like really picky, like you were like, I'm not gonna do this thing that I might actually like, but I just don't even want to try it, and I won't do it here, and I won't do it anywhere. But I think that if you open up to the idea of trying something new, you might surprise yourself.